Hello, it's IPC Apex Expo 2023 in San Diego. It's day one. I'm joined by Mark from SASinno. Thanks for coming over. Now, it's the first time we've met, so it'd be great if you could give me an overview of the business.
Oh, well, thank you very much. So, SASinno Americas, we are a selective soldering company. We design the selective soldering machines in Germany. We build them in Asia, and then we support and network them through the Americas, through SASinno Americas.
Right,
so we're primarily selective soldering, a little bit of wave soldering as well.
Yeah. How's the past year or so been for you? Because it's a strange time. We've come out of COVID restrictions, and actually it's great today because it feels like everything's back to normal kind of thing. And it
feels like it.
We're talking to people. Some people had actually a great experience through lockdown. They were busy kind of thing. Others have used it as a time to reassess their business and come out a bit differently. Have you adapted in any way?
We have made some adaptations to it. We do a lot more networking online than we have done before. We do a lot more Teams meetings or WebExes of any sort than we ever did beforehand. A lot more Zoom meetings. That was not always the case in the past. It was mostly the highway, business to business, going in and seeing things. We still do that when it's necessary, and we enjoy doing that, going in and seeing customers' facilities.
Yeah.
But it has changed the primary way we do business.
Good. And we're talking a lot more about reshoring. We've always been talking about reshoring kind of thing, but now the sort of geopolitical situation in the world, it's something that makes good sense everyone to be doing. And it's, America has taken the lead, to be honest, with what's going on in Mexico and everything. Has that affected the way you do business as well?
It has. So a lot of the things that were being shipped offshore to be done are being brought back in to being done here in the U.S., or at least pieces and parts of it, if not the whole part of it. Even with what we sell and support, it's designed, like I said, in Germany. It's manufactured in Asia, and it's being built with parts from around the world. Many of those parts coming from right here in the U.S.
Right. Yeah.
So we are even networking back into it that way. You're seeing a lot more. I like to call it leveling. Of the playing field.
Yeah, and you used to talk about supply chain issues that we were always talking about. When are they going to solve? But people just got used to they're not going to be solved. It's
right.
kind of just get used to it kind of thing. Yeah.
Very true. People and parts. It's what you hear everywhere.
Yeah.
What's your biggest pain? People and parts.
Yeah. And do you think? The skills shortages, staff shortages kind of thing, it's interesting, we hear now that it's like Guadalajara and other places in Mexico, they're actually building up a body of skilled workers there. It's something that it does grow itself.
It is, and something that we've seen, we're based here in the U.S. out of the Midwest. And something we're seeing even out of the Midwest with companies we're calling on locally there is that they are sourcing many of their employees, especially their technical staff, out of Guadalajara and places like that. You're seeing a lot more than that than you ever saw in the past, or we ever saw in the past.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's sort of changing times, but you do feel a lot of it is sort of positive change now, isn't it? It's not a knee-jerk reaction to.
It's a needed change. Again, people and parts. It's very difficult to find people. It's so reaching out to find the right people in the right places is very difficult.
So have you got anything new at the show, or are you talking to
We do. So we're relatively new to the Americas market. SASinno has been building machines for several years now, but mainly the main markets have obviously been Asia, because we manufacture them right there, and then obviously the European market as well, because that's where they're designed. So you see a lot more of our machines there than you do here in the U.S. We've had a great amount of interest and success both here in the U.S. over the last year. I've been working personally with them before I formed SASinno America. I was working personally with them before that, just hoping to. I co-founded a rep company out of the Midwest as well, and so through that we were already supplying machines, and then we decided to take on a much larger role of helping with the development of the market throughout all the Americas. And so we have. So here at the show, we've got one of our systems, our very low-end offline system, which is called the Ant 1. And the nomenclature of our machines is that whatever that number is at the end of those machines stands for the number of solder pots in it. So the Ant 1 has 1 solder pot, the Ant 2 has 2 solder pots, the Flex 2 has 2 solder pots, the Mass 2, 2 solder pots, Mass 4, so on and so forth. It's very easy for when you know that, very to look at it and say how much production you're going to get through that machine and what it's actually designated for. Where the Ant 1 is really a system for a company that is doing some selective soldering, or actually doing a lot of hand soldering. They want to convert that hand soldering because, again, finding the labor force to do that hand soldering is getting more and more difficult.
Right, yeah.
So if you can have one person that's doing the production of multiple people, at a machine and push your production that way, it makes a lot more sense to do that than it does to continue to look for people that don't seem to exist right now.
Yeah, definitely. So, like I say, it's quite new to the Americas, so these kind of shows are pretty important, aren't they, to
very important.
Get networking?
Yeah, very important. This is the first Apex that we as SASinno Americas has done, and we've got high hopes for it so far. We're only half a day into it, and it's been very good so far.
Good.
The response has been good. The reaction to the machine has been good. I think people, when we take the doors off the machine and open it up, I don't think people are expecting to see the kind of quality that they're seeing inside the machine. So that's very nice to see people light up. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So it's been good.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's a good testament to your quality, isn't it? Well, it's fantastic. Well, thanks for spending the time to talk to us.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that.
I hope the rest of the show is good for you. I mean, it's like you say, if it started off like this, half a day in,
that's right.
You'll be worn out at the end of it.
I already am.
Yeah. Thanks for speaking to us. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.